Hi, I'm Deslauriers and I'm here today to look at some of my work. So I always drew when I was a kid. I was drawing at school. I was drawing. I dropped out because I was drawing in my course and everything. And then after dropping out schools, I just decided to start tattooing. I started in my bedroom. It was super sketchy. I was 16 years old. When I started, it was a different era. It was 10 years ago. So I was just doing tattoos because I wanted to tattoo myself for free, actually. So it was the basics of it. And then I started tattooing people and friends of friends and friends. And I didn't know I would do a style. I would just wanted to do tattoos. A few years later, I would say 3 or 4 years, I moved to Montreal City. And then that's where I started developing my style, I would say. I started doing just black and gray realism, and it was not enough for me. I did it for a few months and it was just not boring, but I wasn't able to imagine how I could stand out with it. So that's why I started adding stuff, drawings and stuff. So when I was drawing on paper before tattooing, I was always doing a lot of colors. I loved actually neo-traditional, and I was trying to draw this at first. I didn't know I would do realism. I thought it was for the tattoo masters and whatever. And then I started doing it and it was not that bad actually. It improved a lot since back then, but from there I just build it and it became what it is today. I'm surprised you found this one, actually. Actually, it's my second portrait, I think. I don't like it anymore, but I would say it was 8 years ago. That's when I started doing trying realism mostly. I think I always loved Dali. All of his paintings and stuff, the surrealism about it was inspiring me. And whenever I was doing a flash of his face, it was always selling super fast. I'm not the only one who liked Dali, I guess. And yeah, I got it tattooed on my hand too, so it's a great inspiration. Something I would change about this piece would be doing opaque gray instead of gray wash for sure, and spending probably 3 more hours on it, doing more details. That would be it. Yes, this one is better, definitely. Definitely, I still love it. I think people loved it too because it got shared on Reddit and stuff like that. I started this right after the pandemic just because I feel people wanted smaller tattoo, in Montreal at least. And I had to find some way to do smaller session and not big 8-hour session, super a lot of commitment or whatever. So I started doing small portraits. I think people like these ones because it's not such a commitment versus a 8-hour piece. So, and then probably they like it because it's simple, it's there, it's small, and it's not just a portrait, not a black and gray portrait. There's always a touch of colors or whatever. So there's some technical things I would improve, but overall, I still love this one, and usually I don't love them more than 6 months later. I'm always hard on myself, but yeah, I still love this one. Yeah, I would just some technical stuff. Still love this one too. It's one of the first with thick lines, the mix between thick lines and realism that I did after, I think it's after the pandemic or at the end of it. I see people trying to do a lot of minimal details in realism and stuff that would probably not heal that well in 10 years. The old school work or traditional work with the thick lines, I know we all know it healed well and it will be there forever. So I'm just doing a mix of both, so I know there's a part of it that will stay forever. Usually I choose what I'll do in realism, and it's basically if people want a human face or whatever, it will be in realism for sure. And all the other elements that look weird in realism, in small realism, I will do it in cartoony kind of thing. I try to make it last forever. That's my main thing about tattoos. I prefer to put less details because Instagram is cool and you can get a lot of likes and stuff, but it's still on someone's skin who's paying for it. So if it lasts longer, I feel people will just enjoy them more longer. So yeah. That one was a flash, actually, that I did. I always like to work with some kinky stuff, realism stuff. The main thing about it is I know the client can wear it, is parents will probably be a bit shocked, but it's not like too intense, so I feel like most of people can like it, and I'm glad I found someone who would do it, actually. Why I stick with pop culture is because usually it sells faster, so because people can relate to it. So I know it attracts more attention, like not only on Instagram but everywhere. Like everyone can relate to a movie theme piece or whatever compared to an abstract thing. So I would say that's why I love working with movies, and the references are super easy to find. So I love working with Bugs Bunny and some cartoony stuff. It's like a bit different. It's more like illustrative than just thick lines, naive thick lines. So it had a bit more details in it, and yeah, that's what I loved about this one.
And what would you change if you had to do something differently?
Nothing. That's my favorite so far. So I wouldn't change anything. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, but it will be my favorite for the next 3 months probably until the next one, because I always have a new favorite, but that's one of my favorites so far, yeah. The difference between like my work today and this one, I wasn't drawing that much of thick line stuff. There's more like tiny lines and details and more like comic style, so that's the main difference. But I loved working with the client on this one. It was super easy to find reference, so that was super cool. I play with levels on my portraits, so they are more dark. I play with a lot of black and a lot of like light colors, so that makes the contrast. And when I started this style, actually, I was calling it like colorful darkness. And it was the perfect way to like describe it because it was super colorful and super dark. What I love about this one is the lightning on the light, not the lightning, but the light on the Spider-Man mostly. I feel like it pops a lot. I feel like my style is evolving like through years, and that's the thing I want to keep, like evolving and stuff. Because if you do the same thing forever, it's like it becomes boring. So yeah, no, I kind of like to stay inside the box, but I like to try some tiny things sometime, and it makes my style evolve. So I'd love to do more like sleeves and large scale project. That's my next thing that I would love to do, because I always do like one session things. So it's cool for clients, but I love to work on larger scale areas and stuff. I still love this one. It's an old one, but it aged well. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Hans Deslauriers. You can find me on Instagram, hans.deslauriers, and on my website real soon, hansdeslauriers.com.
That was perfect.
That was great, okay.
Yeah, it was great.